Nice few participants. Please, the participants, please just send us a little note so we know you are there. Because I'm not
Yeah.
able to see your comments on the screen here. So I'm seeing it here. I'm following it on my phone. Okay, so that's how it is. Yeah, exactly. Summer, hi Summer. Hi Abdo. Hi Lama. So we are there. So, Zaina,
Bassam, yeah.
let us start.
Okay.
First of all, I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
On
hosting.
personal basis, you were a good mentor and teacher for me personally in the way you handled your life crisis and life trauma. I in my heart I said that you are an iron lady who was able to go out to live again out of a big trauma, which some people may end their lives. So I really appreciate you being here with me, and we will try to spread the knowledge and spread your experience with our audience. So,
Thank you
Zena,
so
can
much
you
for
introduce yourself,
hosting me.
please?
Yeah, thank you, first of all, for hosting me. I'm so happy to be here on the platform of the Bridges of Light, and I'm honored to be your guest. And I want to say hello to everyone who is watching us right now. I can't see you all, but I can feel you. So, hello. Bassam, it's a hard question you asked. To introduce ourselves is not that easy as most people think.
I know.
So, if I wanna talk about myself, I would say that I play a lot of roles in life. My name is simply Zaina, and um, I have a lot of roles in life. I am a mother of two beautiful adolescents. I am a writer. I am a trainer, a self-development coach and trainer in NLP, timeline therapy, hypnosis, and NLP coaching. I work in the corporate secretary office in one of the banking firms in Lebanon, and this is it.
All right. That's a very brief introduction.
Well, I guess life gets to give you every single day to know more about yourself.
Okay, can you
So,
please? Yes. Hi, Randa Saab. Randa is there. Hi, Randa.
hi,
Uh,
Randa.
can you please, Zena, tell us about briefly about the crisis, the problem, the big catastrophe, if we can say, that happened in your life, and how did you manage to go above it and live and revive against all odds? So let us share this story, and let us give an example of what happened to you and how you were able to rise over your problems.
Yes. Um, Actually, what happened is 6 years ago. Um, 6 years ago, my life changed. How my life changed, I will resume it. I will say that each one of us lives in this life all seasons, and each one of us have a special season. I would call it the autumn. So no matter how lives and everything happens with us, we know at a particular moment there gonna be a harsh autumn that will pass into our life. So to me, I never thought that this autumn would come. What happened is that this autumn it took away um, my caring and boosting and one of my spiritual person that I used to live with. So he took away my husband. I had a beautiful family, two children, and we were living happily as each family is living. And then a sickness came along, and my husband was diagnosed with brain cancer, a glioblastoma, a grade 4. And unfortunately, it took away his life, and it took our spring along with it, leaving me alone with two children. and not knowing what to do. So I had only two choices at that time. Either I live in an eternal autumn and I die, or either I rise up and find my spring back again.
And here comes the
So,
title of your book.
exactly, exactly. Here comes the title of my book. After a long journey of grieving and trying to find my path in life, trying to find myself, I was lost. I I passed through struggles, so many tiring emotions, and I didn't know really what to do. So I decided that I really don't have this luxury of just staying down and just listening and watching my autumn's leaves falling on the ground. No, that wasn't my choice. I really wanted to rise up. I wanted to rise up with my children and I wanted to have a happy life. The happy life that my husband wanted me to live it while he was with us. So the path was too long, but it was worth it.
You know, autumn always mean regeneration. So
Definitely.
the earth, Mother Earth, is regenerating in autumn, and the same thing happened to you. Actually, we are part of this life. We are part of this universe. Zena, during
Yes.
that time, were you in the yoga and the spiritual practices? Tell us about yourself before this trauma that happened in your life. Were you in the spiritual world? Were you in this field?
No, actually, I wasn't in this field. On the opposite, I had so many struggles physically, physical struggles, and I had problems, the health problems also as well, and I was very nervous. I used to be very nervous, and I used to have a lot of fears inside me. So this was before. And when my husband got sick, when Tarek got sick, I realized that we don't know really what we have, what blessings is life until we lose it. So I had to lose to win again. And it was harsh. It was so hard on me. To be able to rise from it, as we may call it, Bassam, it is a crisis. So if I want to say it, I would say it is a crisis. It doesn't matter if it is a life crisis, it is economic crisis, it's a political crisis, whatever. A crisis is a crisis. So it is an intense difficulty that requires a decision for a turning point. And I needed this turning point. I needed to get out. I needed to take a decision to get out to this turning point. But how would I do this?
This is my question. Who inspired you for this decision, or who pushed you to have such a decision?
I pushed myself. I pushed
Okay,
myself
tell me about it.
because, yeah, because with all the support that we have in life, we have friends, definitely. I had the support of everyone, my family, my colleagues, my friends, everyone. But what I realized that no one can help me better than myself. I had to do it alone. At some point, you have to do it alone. So I took all the support from everyone, but I had to face it alone. And to face the crisis alone, meaning that you have to go through the grieving process that each one passes in life when we lose someone we love. So there is a grief process that talks about Dr. Elizabeth Ross, and this process, every person cross over it in his life, but definitely each person deals with it differently. It depends on his personality, on his culture, on whatever he passes through. So first of all, I put myself into, it was a shock. Okay, so I had a shock and disbelief. No, this could not happen. And the second stage, when my husband died, so I was in a denial. And I still didn't want to believe that, no, this is not the end. There's something that must be done. The third part is the guilt. So now I had the guilt feeling that what's happening to me, which made me go to the fourth stage, which is the anger and bargaining. So I held so much anger in my life and in myself. Why him? Why did God or whatever took him?
Why him
What
or
happened?
why me? Why him or why me?
And why me? And why me as well? Why did it happen to me? Why
Exactly.
me?
Exactly.
So when you get out of your anger, you go automatically into the depression. You have to go into the depression because you have to grieve. You have to
Yes.
do the sadness. We have to grieve. We have to do it. We have to release all those negative emotions. We have to do all this mourning. We need this mourning. It's beneficial for us. And after the depression, definitely we need to reconstruct ourselves and work through to acceptance. So this is the seventh stage. These are seven stages. So the last stage is the acceptance. It is then when you really accept that no, it is something that really happened and you just cannot do anything about it. You need to accept it, you need to live with it, and you need to shift your life in doing it.
Uh-huh. So you passed through the defined seven psychological stages that is mentioned in the books. So you
Exactly.
typically, so you had this typically. Fine, all right. So how? Tell me about the start. Uh, what is? Did you start with the yoga, or did you start with reading? Did you move to spirituality? Did this push you to start being spiritual and look into the matter in a spiritual way? Because, as you said, the denial and the anger is the physical part, but when you
Yes.
transfer it and change it into the spiritual part, you will see it from a different angle, from a different level, and it will make different sense. So tell me about the first step. Did you start with what is the modality that you started with?
Well, first of all, in the first step, you don't realize that you have hidden negative emotions inside you. I continued my life as if yes, I did it. Wow, I'm so powerful. I found myself that I could do anything. So I started to raise the kids and we started to have our life back. And I needed to take care of all the things that my husband left behind from financials, from his work. I needed to get back to my life. I needed to go back to work because someone has to take responsibility of these two children. And it was really hard on me. So I put all those luggages on my shoulders and I carried them all along with me, not knowing that one day they will knock on my door. So what happened is after 6 months, I thought I'm okay. And effectively, I was not okay. What happened is my negative emotions, my repressed negative emotions, just got up and knocked on my door. And guess what, Zaina? Yes, we are here. You need to open the door for us. So I was burying all my negative emotions, all my repressed emotions inside me, and they needed to get out. So at that stage, I started to have anxiety, kind of depression, light depression. I started to have worries, a lot of fears, and I didn't know what to do. So at this point, I decided that I need support. Definitely, I need support. I I went to see a psychologist, like everyone needs to do in life, and he told me that this is your grief. You need to do your grief. And at this point, it's where I don't call it that destiny or I got lucky to be introduced to the world of NLP. I guess deep inside of me, I attracted this because deep inside of me, there is this shift that I really wanted to see and I couldn't. So when I figured out the world of neuro linguistic programming and NLP, so this word introduced me to myself. It gave me um, this shift that made me what I am right now.
Yes.
Using NLP techniques and getting sessions and taking out all those negative emotions, all those emotional barriers, mental and emotional barriers that I had deep down inside of me. Along with, definitely, I had to do a lot of effort for my mental health, because when we talk about life, we talk about body, mind, and spirit. So
Yes.
I cannot heal myself mentally without healing myself physically. It
Yes,
affected my physical.
let me interrupt here, please. We will go in
Yes.
details to this one. Tell me how was the effect of the trauma in your life on your kids or your children, and how old were they? And before that, I want to thank Mariella is there, Wadad, Randa, Tiger, Anna. Mariella, thank you, Mariella, for your cooperation. Nisreen, Mariella is saying, Zeina Daroub, you are right. When we lose a person, we are in feeling too. We have shock, big tragedy, trauma, and we need, of course, helpful techniques. So please tell me, how was the your kids' situation after this crisis?
Yeah. We suffered. This is what I can say. We
The
suffered.
kids.
Yeah, the kids suffered. Me and the kids, we suffered all together, because losing the father is not something easy. So he was, and Tariq, my husband, was the backbone of this family. He was a caring, loving person with all the qualities and attributes that we can give to a person. So he was exceptional, not because he is my partner, and he still is deep inside, but he really is. So for the kids, it was really traumatic, and specifically that they were at the ages by then, by 8 and 10 years old. And to mention that the kids lived the tragedy of their father, and they saw him how he was, um, how his health going down
Deteriorating,
by
deteriorating, yes.
phases, degrading, yes, going down by phases, and it was hard on them. And
Yeah.
I had to talk to them simply. There was in the phase that when Tariq was sick, I had to talk to them. I had to tell them that your father is sick and he may die. So I
Mm.
didn't lie to them, and this is very important to explain to the children, not to give them false hope, and yet at the same time I was giving them assurance and reassurance that they will be in security with me, that I will be taking care of them. So this was kind of gave them a little bit of balance, to know that they're going to be in security with someone at least.
Okay.
So when Tade died, I had to figure out what to do with the grieving of the children. I had to do something with their grievings as well. So also the kids got to see a psychologist as well, and we had to cooperate all together. We had to do communications, we had to do conversations at the house, we had to do all the things that Tare used to do, used to love. We did a lot of things to take them out of this trauma, and it wasn't easy at all. It took a lot of time, it took a lot of effort, it took a lot of sadness. And the most important thing that I wanted to explain to them, what is death. This is very important,
Yeah.
because we have a lot of fear of what is death. So they don't know what is death, and they have to know. We have to explain it to them.
So you explained to them the real thing. You didn't make any, these imaginable stories that he
No,
is
no,
here,
no.
he's there, he's. So you were very real with them. It's a bit harsh. It's not
It is.
easy, but it's better that they are living their life properly and they know exactly where they are going, and this will gain them much better personality and strength to go on in life. Okay.
Definitely.
Uh, please, I want you please now to tell me, before going to the further questions, you are a practitioner in timeline therapy. And this timeline line therapy sounds something very interesting and very important for everybody. So please tell us something about this timeline therapy, and how would this technique or modality help people?
Yeah. Yes,
By
I
the way,
am a trainer
I
in.
want to, I want to welcome Nisreen Bougader. She's with us.
Hi, Nasrian.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting to see, by the way, the comments. So hello, everyone. If you allow me, Bassam, to read a little bit, so just to see what they
Yes.
are writing.
Okay. Maria Mariella said, can you read Mariella? She's saying, I saw a few seconds of emotion in your face, in your voice also. I can understand these situations because I had them in my life. That's what Mariella in Italy. I think she's in Italy. She's saying telling you this.
Well, Mariella, I bet so because after 6 years, I still have the same light in my eyes, I would say, the light of love to my husband. Though it is harsh, though I know that I gain him inside my heart. And each time I talk about him, I feel my heart beats. So, yes, it is. It's all, and this is why, because of him, I'm here right now. And because of him, I'm supporting people.
Welcome Nadine Daroub. Also, she's with us. So
Hello, Nadia.
yeah. So please, if you have any question, please let us know and we will answer. So let's go to talk
Yeah.
about this timeline therapy. How did you learn it, and what does how does it help?
Yeah, timeline therapy. Actually, I'm a trainer in timeline therapy. I did it when I went to USA to get my training certifications in neuro-linguistic programming, timeline therapy, hypnosis, and NLP coaching. So, what's interesting in timeline therapy specifically, it is a process of active imagination. So, it
Mhm.
helps us to use our active imagination, and it is a set of tools and techniques that helps us um, to analyze and to discover the root cause of our specific event that led us to our negative emotions such as anger, guilt feeling, sadness, whatever. So these major negative emotions, we get to get rid of them through the techniques of timeline therapy. And timeline therapy, of course, definitely goes as well to take out our limiting beliefs, those limiting beliefs that we have in life and which are disturbing us from and depriving us from creating our future. So this is timeline therapy. It's a beautiful technique.
Okay, I left you because I was reading here. Okay, we have Leah Abu Faraj
My
watching.
daughter. Hi, Leah.
Okay, so let's go back to the. Okay, here it is. Okay, so right, shall we move to the NLP, or you think the introduction of timeline therapy is enough for the moment?
Um, yes, I think we will talk about I think we can talk about NLP. I think we
Okay,
can talk about NLP.
okay,
But
tell me
but
about.
first, before moving to NLP, I would like to mention something. Speaking of, since we are talking about grief and sadness, I really want to mention that the negative emotion of sadness, it has also a positive a positive side. So though it is a major negative emotion, it has also a positive side.
How?
And I found out beautiful things. I just want to share some with you.
Yes.
So how can sadness be a beneficial emotion? It's really important for us to understand it.
Mhm.
So sadness, in a way, it improves our memory, because just think of it, when we get into when we dig into our negative emotions, what we do is we go into those details. So we tend to with our memory to rewind ourselves into details, and those details will improve our memory because we need to have basically a very good memory to dig into those details. So literally the memory improves. So the sadness improves our memory. Moreover, sadness, it operates like an alarm, a signal alarm, because it gives us a trigger to do more effort and motivation to get out of it. So when we are sad, what we do, because you say to yourself, I don't want to be sad anymore. So what do I have to do? So I need to put more effort on myself to get out of the sadness. And it is said that people who are in a sad mood are more persuasive than those who are in a positive mood. Why? Because they produce more effective and concrete arguments. Because when you are sad, you say to yourself, I have to support my position in this. I have to get arguments to get out of it. So this way I can persuade you that how did I get of it? So, and I want also to mention, Bassam, that we have to understand that sadness is not depression because people tend to get confused between those two. So sadness is not depression. Uh, Depression is a mood disorder defined by prolonged and intense periods of sadness, but it is not sadness.
Okay, again, please, can you emphasize on this point? By the way, Alicia is
Um,
with us. Hi, Alicia, how are you? And Lama, she says 100% true what you are saying. Hi, Alicia. Please go on and repeat this.
Hello. About the depression. So
Yes.
there's a difference between the sadness and the depression. Okay,
Okay.
so the depression is a mood disorder defined by prolonged and intense periods of sadness.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not sadness. So
Okay.
what happens to some people who grieves? Some people, why a lot of people when grieving they stays in their grief and they don't come out of it because their sadness extends into depression and they stuck in it.
Okay.
So
So depression
this
is
is
like
very
a form
important.
of sadness. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. So this is very important point to know that at that stage we should get out of it. We should know that we should get out of it.
Okay. Tell me what is NLP and what are the limitations of NLP and where can we reach using the NLP in our daily life?
Yeah. Um, let me explain, Bassam, to you what is NLP
I know my
in a
question
short.
is a course. My question is simply a course of 2 days, maybe. So you have to be brief in that.
Yeah. Um, I will explain NLP because this jargon word may seem so. What is NLP? So I want to simplify it. I want to simplify it in a way that you will understand it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna explain it in a story.
Yeah.
Okay, so once there was a mother and her son, and the son came and said to his mother, "Mother, can you explain to me what is NLP?" So she said to him, "Yes, of course, in 1 minute. In order, but I need from you one thing before to do before I explain it to you in order to understand it. So, can you see your grandpa who is sitting over there?" He told her yes. So she told him, "Go and ask him, how is his leg feeling today?" So the boy, he went to his grandpa and he said, "Grandpa, how is your leg feeling today?" So the grandfather, he was like that. He said, "Oh, it's hurting a lot. I feel a lot of pain and I can't walk on it and it's really hurting me. I don't know what to do with it and it's getting worse day after day." So the son, he came back to his mother and he told her, "Mother, my grandfather said that he is in pain." So his mother said, "Yes, okay." So he told her, "Okay, can you tell me now what is NLP?" So the mother told him, "In 1 minute, I want you before to go again to your grandfather and I want you to ask him what was the funniest thing that he remembers of you when you were very young." So the boy went to his grandpa. "Grandpa, grandpa, what was the funny thing that you remember when I was very young?" So the grandfather light up his face and he smiled and he said, "Oh, I have a lot of things to remember. If I want to begin, I will not finish until tomorrow. But however, I can still remember that day when I took you out for a walk, and then we saw this guy, and you were singing your beautiful song that I learned, and then this guy was so upset from you, and he told me, "Please be quiet." And you were very angry with this young man, so you looked at him like that, and you said, if this bothers you, Mister, please put your head down. And I still remember how I laughed on this. So the boy came back to his mother and he told her, "Mama, did you hear Grandpa what he said? He was very happy." So his mother looked at her son and she told him, "Yes, you see, you changed the way he felt, and that is NLP, and
Very
that
good,
is what
very good,
NLP."
very good example. Very good example. It's the how the way we talk, how we think. What that Saab says here, I believe that we can control our depression from our mind too.
Definitely, we're gonna talk about this definitely.
Okay, so let us start.
It's all in the mind. It's all
Yeah,
in the mind.
yeah.
Just to say, just to explain the N and the L and the P. So N is the neuro. It's the nervous system, which our experience is processed through our five senses: the visual, the auditory, the kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory. And we have the linguistic, which is the language and other non-verbal language communication system through which our neural representation are coded and giving meanings. And these includes pictures, sounds, feelings, tastes, smells, words, and the self-talk. And programming, it is the ability to discover and utilize the programs that we run in our mind and ourselves in our neurological systems to achieve our specific and desired outcomes. So, if I want to say what is NLP, I would say that NLP is a do with process. It is a do with the process to facilitate a change in ourselves and in others. And you ask me, Bassam, how can we take benefit from NLP in all areas of our life? NLP can help us in all areas in our life. Everything. It can help us with our children, with our peers, with our colleagues, with our customers at work, spiritually, all access in our lives.
So can we say that NLP is processing a language that the neural our the whatever electric
The neurons in our mind, yeah.
system in our brain can understand and probably can misdirect or give a different direction of our thoughts. So
Yeah.
would we say that?
If I want to put it also in something else, I can give an example. Also,
Okay.
very easy to understand.
Yeah.
When you buy a laptop, or when you buy a mobile, or when you buy a television, a TV. Okay,
Mm.
so what do you get with it? You get with it a manual,
The
a guide
manual.
manual.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so NLP is the guide manual of our brain, of our mind.
Okay.
So when we need to do, what we need to do is to open up those pages of this guide and see how can we use it in order to change our life. So it is to reprogram our thoughts, which leads to our emotions, which leads to our behaviors. We need to reprogramming to do a reprogramming to those thoughts.
Okay. We need an example now.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay,
How would
so
you meet somebody in NLP who is having, for example, again,
I will
thinking,
take my example. I will take my
all
example
right,
since we
yeah,
are
okay,
still talking about sadness and grieving. Okay,
okay,
I would say that if I used to say to myself, okay, that okay, I am a widow. Okay, I am a widow. Um, I lost my husband. I can't do anything. I can't move. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I have nothing in life. Okay, and I can reframe my phrase. I can reframe it into something else, and I can say, I am a woman who lost her husband. I am not a widow. I am a woman who lost her husband and trying and getting to get out of this sadness to create a new life. So, reprogramming and reframing the phrases, the words we use, the labels that we use. For example, we always say that I am sad, while it's better to say I am right now having a feeling of sadness. So, what you say to your unconscious mind will do it for you. Because if you want to talk about the conscious and the unconscious mind, it's very important to understand what is the conscious mind and what is the unconscious mind. In the unconscious mind, we have 80%, 80 to 90% of our decisions are taken in the unconscious mind. Only 10% of our decisions we take them while we are conscious and aware of what we are doing. This is why when we are so angry, if we are dealing with our manager and we get to in a situation where we are so angry, what we do, we might say, I'm going to quit right now. So you do the reaction of your emotion of anger, of your thoughts, and you react on this emotion. So what you do, you may lose your future because at some point, at some emotion, what you did an reaction. You weren't proactive. You weren't active in this emotion.
Okay.
So this is why we need to be very careful with what we say to our unconscious mind. Our unconscious mind doesn't analyze. He doesn't think. So he only take orders. If you say to him, I am happy, you will be happy. And this happiness, it will show on your face, it will show on your body, it will show on your physical appearance. So the emotion, it will goes along with the motion. So now if you now I can not fake it. If now I want to be sad, okay, this is my way of being sad. So my shoulders will go down and my face will lean, okay, and all my physical part will get into this motion because motion and emotions goes together. And whenever I want to motivate myself, what do? So I stand up, oh, I rise my shoulders up, and here I go, I smile. So again, my behavior as well, it affects my emotion and affects my thoughts. So it is a circle.
Okay, we have a question here. Mariella is asking, what do you think about regressive hypnosis?
uh it is personal. It is personal. Some people doesn't believe in regression.
Yeah.
So it is kind of personal. I think it is kind of personal, and it depends on the case. It depends on cases. Some people doesn't. They don't know if they wish to go back to their past lives, or if they believe if there is a past life or no.
Yes. Okay, let me here add to this point, which is very important. Our subconscious mind is the minister of defense in our body. He
He
is his
protects
job is to
protects our body.
defend and protect us. So if we give him the proper information, then he will be able to help us properly. If we give him
That's
the bad information, he will help us, but improperly, and he will not help in the way that we need. If you say, "I'm afraid, I'm
exactly.
afraid, I'm afraid," so he will give orders to some organs of the body, and some glands the uh, will give the information, okay, to work improperly. So the way that we instruct our subconscious, he will work accordingly. And to
Yeah.
answer Mariella, regression in hypnosis is also very important. I use it very much in our session. It's actually age regression, okay, and we can go to a past life regression. Age regression, which is important for everybody. Everybody has a painful a crying child in himself. It is the inner
True.
child. Every problem we have is coming from an inner child. You cannot imagine what problems we face with inner children. And it's all the mistake of the parents, then the mistake of the teacher, then the mistake of the environment. So this will put in us this inner children who are suffering. So in hypnosis, we work with this the inner child. We have to go to a regression to help. So regression is really very important in sorting many problems. Yes, Zina, you can continue, please.
Um, I want to add something.
Yeah.
Speaking of unconscious mind, Dr. Carl Jung, the father of psychology, he says, and he says it in a beautiful way. So he says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. So, how many times we thought about ourselves and we put ourselves those beliefs that this is my destiny, I can't do anything about it. This is my fate, I can't do anything about it. While it is only your belief system, and your belief systems comes from so many um, internal representations inside your head, and these internal representations are being filtered by our culture, our values, our society. So it's a big issue. So these beliefs will tend us to go to a certain part where we think that yes, I can, if I listen to my destiny, if I listen to my destiny, I was a dead woman by now.
True.
So I would just be a widow and wearing black and mourning the whole day, and
Yes.
not doing anything for her children, for her society, for anyone. So it's all because I didn't believe in this, because I had to come up with something that really pushes me up and level me up, and I had to go and search for my resilience. Where is this resilience? I had to be resilient at some point. So, and being resilient is to, just like the elastic, so you stretch yourself as much as you can, and then when you get back to the elastic, it's the same. So it is how speed you can recover. And how do you recover by doing this? You cannot recover spiritually without recovering physically and without recovering mentally. So these parts are all set together, they are three in one. We have to
Yes.
have this package all in one.
Yeah. Let me say here, emotions is meaning the emotion means energy in motion. The emotion is an energy in motion.
True.
So the energy that comes from our thoughts starts with emotion and will lead to a problem or to happiness or to a good end. So energy in
True.
motion. Yes. Okay, dear.
True.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the limits of NLP? Where NLP will stop and we have to look for something else?
Um, NLP actually, it is a modeling for psychology.
Yes.
So Richard Bandler and what they did, that they took the modeling of psychology of some of the psychologists. They took what they did and succeeded at, and they model it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we can heal in NLP, definitely not the disordered personalities, not the diseases. We can heal with NLP the things that we go through life, through every single life.
Okay. Let me ask
So
you a question here. Yeah.
we all need NLP in our lives.
How can you use NLP in releasing difficult people in your life? For example, you have a person, your neighbor, some relation, your friend, your boss, that you can't stand, you hate them, you cannot communicate with them. How would NLP relieve you from this negative feeling towards others? Can you get rid of this negative feeling?
Yeah, I always say this, Bassam, in my courses when I give trainings to NLP. So the first thing that I say is NLP is a do with the process. Okay, so it has something to do with you first. So and I cannot give you the NLP. I can give you the course, I can give you the knowledge, but you have to practice it on yourself. And what I say as well is you need to be healed first in order to get along with people. So, and one of the NLP presuppositions that I love very much in NLP is that perception is projection. So, if this neighbor I'm talking about, I hate him, then there must be something in me that I really dislike. I have to deal with it first before I speak to this person. And then what I need to do is to understand that behind the persons, there is a behavior. So the person is not the behavior. I need to see why this person is so angry or why he is so negative. So he as well may have problems, may have something that he is living. So to me, I have first to understand myself. I have to understand my own emotions and not to be judgmental. And then when I see this person, I have to understand what's lying behind his behavior in order to help him and support him. And definitely here we can talk a lot about communication and the importance of communication and the right communication.
Yes, that's right. This is to say that we are mirrors of others, and others that are mirrors of us. So when you
Definitely
dislike some other person, this means there is something in you that you have to work on to relieve
true.
yourself from this feeling, and then the other person will be all right. So heal yourself before healing others. And the same thing
Definitely
applies to mothers when they have these kids with anxiety, with all these negative feelings. It's actually mostly the mothers or the parents are having the same feeling, which is reflecting on the children. So again, energy in
true.
motion. So our energy, it is in motion when we hate somebody. This energy is in motion, moving to the other person, and he will feel it. And you can never get along with
Definitely
the other person as long as you are feeling that hatred for him.
true.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and
Okay,
here come the spiritual part.
exactly, exactly.
Forget
So
the gratitude.
tell me, what else do you like to talk about NLP before we move to something else? Any advice?
Um, any advice?
Yes.
Yes, of course, definitely. I would recommend not only advice. It is a recommendation that
Yes.
every single person has to know about NLP. And I recommend to use it in schools as well. It's very important. I got to know myself through NLP. I got to heal myself through NLP. And now I am transcending it to my children. My children are learning NLP as well at home. They know now what to do. So they know that they have negative emotions. They know how to analyze it, how to deal with it. They have the awareness. So
Yes.
it gives you this awareness to know that you can do something about it. And what's beautiful is in NLP that it always works. And a lot of people they tell me, Zaina, it didn't work with us. So I tell them, because you have to believe in it. If you don't believe that you will be healed or you want to be successful, I can't do anything about it. You have to do it by yourself, on yourself. It needs practice. You have to practice it on yourself. It's not just simple knowledge and a pocket of tools and techniques. It's a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. Definitely the training is one of the most beautiful experiences you will ever experience when you take the NLP training. It's so fun, it's so challenging, and it gives you a lot of information. And as well, we know that once you get out of the training, you need to practice in life. So the same as when you go to school, you get to learn the material, the knowledge, but it's life that will give you the experience that you want. It's not school.
That's true. That's very true. So, in brief, we can say, if you agree with me, that NLP is a very scientific, psychological model that is not so much in the spiritual side. It is a little bit going high, knowing yourself, knowing what is the subconscious. So, it is a little bit of metaphysics, but not that spiritual, and that you can use on everybody, whatever is their thoughts, whatever they have in religious background, or beliefs. So NLP is a very
Yes.
scientific way, so you can use it with anybody.
It is scientific, and it's not. Definitely it can be related to spirituality, because spirituality, it also comes along with our mental health and with our mental belief and with our mind. So what NLP does, it gives you this awareness. Because I can give you an example how NLP can be related to spirituality. Because when we were talking about this neighbor that we, if we hate it, okay, so when I discover myself and I know that I was mistaken with this, and when I discovered that this person's behavior, that this person was really very sad and he had issues, so what do? I forgive myself, and then I forgive him. So
Mm.
forgiveness is part of spirituality, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, yes, that's very true. Okay, Zena, let us talk about something. We go to a little bit on hypnosis and anchoring and such things. Please talk. Let us know about how anchoring. What is anchoring, and how would anchoring be helpful for us, and what kind of problems can be sorted out by anchoring?
Yeah. Anchoring is one of the techniques that we use in NLP, and it's very powerful because it's efficient and it's easy and it can be done in 10 minutes. And we use anchoring when we have when we need to put ourselves in those motivational states.
Mhm.
So you get up in the morning and you're really so demotivated and you don't want to get up and you have to go to work. So you need something, this little push, little extra to give you to go to work. So this way we use it with the anchoring. We use the anchor to give us a boost of energy and motivation throughout our day.
How?
And we also use it if we have how it's a process actually. We don't have time now to explain it fully, but it is a anchoring. It's a stimulus response. It is a process of stimulating response. Okay, if you want, I can just explain in brief what really is anchoring, just to understand it. It says
Okay.
that anchoring is anytime a person in associated an associated intense state, if at the peak of that experience a specific stimulus is applied, then the two will be linked neurologically. Okay. Uh, if you want, Bassam, I don't know if we have time to explain a little bit about other techniques or.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. What we can do is maybe we can do the circle of excellence. The circle of excellence is also a technique in NLP. It's much easier. We can do it right now live.
Please
So
do.
yeah. So altogether, let us do the circle of excellence. Just let me explain to you first
Okay.
what is the circle of excellence, just you will be
So
able
this we will
to
do it with the
understand.
audience.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So um, when we use the circle of excellence, the circle of excellence actually it harnesses our positive resource for qualities and brings us to fruition to our day by day experience. Let's say, for example, that we are lacking in self confidence. Let's say that we are being very heavy, or let's say we have a monumental task ahead of us, and we really feel so lack of self confidence. We don't know what to do or how to get to this event motivated and energetic. Okay, so what we do is we do the circle of excellence technique. It's very easy. It's made of 3 steps only, and we can do it all together right now. So what I want you to do, we are going to work together. Okay, so I need you to please, everyone, I need you to close your eyes. Okay, so close your
So
eyes.
you are the mentor now, and let us experience, all of us here, let's experience this circle
Circle of excellence.
of excellence. All right. So go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so please, everyone, just close your eyes. And I want you to draw a circle using your imagination on the ground floor in front of you. So this circle has to be large enough to step into it. And I want you to imagine you are outside now, this circle. You are outside of it, you are observing it. I want you to imagine this monumental task that you are having, that you want to achieve it, that you are looking forward to it. I want you to imagine it, and I want you to observe it from outside, and you are looking at the circle. I want you to pick up a shape first, a shape, a color that you love, and the shape that you love. And I want you, while observing it, I want you to imagine every good thing about it, about this project, this monumental task. Take every good deed, every goal achieved, every strength, every source of positivity that resides inside you, and you are seeing it right now in front of you in this circle that you are seeing outside of yourself right now. And now, the next step, I want you to get out, to get into this circle. So put yourself right now into the circle. You are now inside the circle. You are now in this project and this monumental task that you just saw it, but you are living it right now. Here it is. You are seeing all the picture that you want to see. You are hearing all the sounds that you want to hear, and you are feeling all the feelings of positivity, of energy, of happiness, of joy, of satisfaction, of fulfillment, of success, of motivation. Feel it right now. It's happening to you right now. You can see everything that you want to see, and you can hear the sounds, and you can feel it. Feel the feelings. You have the smile on your face. You can feel even your smile on your face. You can feel it. Take your time. Enjoy this moment that you were looking for, and it will happening. It is happening right now. You are happy. You are smiling. I can see you, and you can see yourself. And when you are done, gently open your eyes.
So powerful.
Well, I only got to see you, Bassam. I wish I had. I wish I can see all the faces. I just felt them,
Well,
but at least I
if
saw you.
anyone of the audience would like to be with us on the screen, just send an invitation. Tell me, and I will invite them.
I want to
Okay.
know your comment if you felt it. So it works. It really works. I just want to know if you felt it.
Myself, I really felt it. It's very important. It's very strong.
Yeah,
It's
it
very
is
strong.
amazing.
I'm creating
It should be used every single time. Every single time.
amazing, amazing, amazing. Just put your goal in this circle. Imagine this circle and put your goal all in this circle and put all the feelings that you are in this circle, which is your goal when you reach your goal. So you
True.
enter to that circle and feel the
You
success,
are
feel
feeling
the
the goal
happiness,
itself.
feel the beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alicia says, I'm sure you could feel our smile.
Yeah, I read this. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It's energy.
Yes. By the way, let me talking about inner child and the anchoring. Let me just give you a live example which happened with my one of my clients. This little baby, he was merely 1 or 2 years old, living in Lebanon, and during the civil war, he saw. Imagine 2 years old, 2, 3, not more than that. His father was mistreated by few of the gunmen on the streets. You know, it was some sectarian troubles and on the streets. So he was merely 2, 3 years old, not more than that. And his father was mistreated by the people who the gunmen were stopping them. So this little baby was so much afraid and scared. Imagine the age. So weapons, okay, mistreatment, all this chaos that's happening around him. He is recording everything. Okay, the father was released and everything was okay, and he lived his life and he became an adult, married, and he was living in a city, very well off, no problems. In that city, another civil war happened, and the same circumstances that he went through when he was a little kid, 2, 3 years old, was happening in front of him and around him in that country. And since that time, he became so much afraid. He did not eat. He did not live. He just was, he cannot afford to go in a car. He cannot drive. He cannot go in a taxi. He locked himself in his house. So his mother came to me and asked me for help. So talking to this guy, he told me about this incident. So imagine that this anchor, this little thing anchored him. And when this
Definitely.
anchor came again in his life after 20 years, he had the same fearful, stressful situation that he was feeling when he was a little baby. So this
Yeah,
is
he
the
was triggered.
reason of anchoring. So we use the same thing, this anchoring, in the positive sense to help people to when they feel something or when they see something, we give them an anchor to regain their self esteem and
Yeah, we put
self.
them in a positive state. We put them again in a positive state.
Yeah, for example, if somebody has a fear of talking, fear of stage, okay,
Yeah.
so the anchor usually we do that once we program his subconscious. Once you hold the microphone, you remember that good time, that good feature where you are
Yeah. That
self-confident.
when he did it.
Exactly. So this is the anchoring.
Yeah, it's very important. It's one of the best techniques, anchoring, and this is why I called my company. I named it Anchor on Excellence. So because really believed in anchoring, and I believe in excellence. I believe that each one of us has an excellent way and excellent resources that he can use it to get an excellent results and specific results in his life.
Yes. Are we still online? Okay, Zena, probably she's having some troubles. She is in Lebanon, and the usual problems with the internet and the and power. All right, so we will wait for Zena to come back. She will be back in a few moments. So let us talk about it. If anybody had any question, uh, let me know. Lara and Dere, it was an amazing experience. I really felt my smile and happiness in this circle. Thank you. Yes, Lara, it is true. It's very important. So we were talking about the anchoring, and we were talking about the little kids. Zena will come back now soon. The problems when we have with our kids, we have so much problems as parents giving the problems for our kids. Our kids, they are example of us. What we feed them, what we make them feel, they will become when they are adults. So please, parents, don't quarrel in front of your children. Don't use low language in front of your children. Let them feel that they are very important and they are super people. Don't fake them. Okay? Let them live this superiority in terms of effort, superiority in terms of study, superiority in terms of their life. But don't fake them. Don't inflate them. Okay? So don't let them be narcissists. So this is for the children. So all right, Zena is sending me now a message. She will be back. It seems they had a power failure. Okay, so we will stay here talking about. Do you have any question? Anything you like to ask me, Gaetano? Thank you for hosting us. Okay, she's coming. Zena is coming.
I'm back.
Welcome
I'm
back.
sorry.
Welcome back.
It's Lebanon. I'm sorry. Electricity. We have suspense here. We love suspense. So here we are. We gave a break. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Okay, so Zena, you are, let us say, a leader or an activist in women empowerment. Okay, we know that women empowerment is something important in the third world countries where women they have no rights. But in countries that let us say they are first world, like Europe, like America, like I don't know, I don't want to give examples. How what is this woman empowerment in such cases? You the woman when she is uh, um, when she is not without power, powerless. Okay, we need to give her the power. But what about Europe? What about the people the where they have all the power and the equality?
Bassam, it's relative. The subject of women empowering, it's relative. Because
Mm.
you see, I relate the women empowering to when we say women empowering, it means accepting and allowing people who are on the outside of the decision making process got into it. So the issue with with the women empowerment, it's not only getting to higher positions in society and make decisions up on them. So what I mean by women empowerment is to empower herself. This is my main issue. So when I say about women empowerment, I talk about myself. I talk about how can I lift up every single woman who is with me, who needs support, who needs help. And how can I lift her up? I don't need to lift her up to give her a position in a society, in an institution, or help her find a job. I help her to find herself. This is very important, because when you find yourself, when you know your purpose in life, when you get to know why you are here, what's your purpose, this is empowerment. And by the way, this is empowerment not only related to women, it's empowerment to every single one of us, to each person of us, to each human being. It's not only related to women empowerment, it's also related to each human being living right now.
Okay, so woman empowerment basically, from your point of view, is that each woman should has the power, or she should have the confidence to make
Her
herself
own power. It's
her
her
own
own
power.
power. Yeah, because when she has her own power, she can make decisions. She
Okay,
can have self-confidence, self-esteem.
exactly,
And
exactly.
how do we get this? How do we get power within ourselves? Is when we know ourselves. So it's our own inner self, and it's not that easy to know ourselves. If you allow me, Bassam, to read just a paragraph from my book that I wrote in the memorial of my husband, Tariq. This book was written after 2 years, and it was one of my um therapy, I call it, while writing this beautiful book. And I just love it because this is my anchor. So I wrote a little bit. I will read a little paragraph of it. Okay, when I talk about my own inner self. Okay, I say that the way of hope, the way of life. I am caught in another storm of change, and I realize that my journey has begun. A timid beam of light cracks through the gloom of my soul and sets out to break out of the swarm of self abandonment. I am in an immense need to leave the prison in which I have detained myself. I have neglected myself, silenced her for years, while she still cares about me and speaks to me. Myself, who I have always loved, never stopped loving me. Myself, who I have betrayed time and time again, remained faithful to me. Myself, who I have abandoned thousands of times, never left me once. I wasted my whole life chasing after pleasing others. I was so enthralled by their commotion that I could not hear her coy, tender voice. At the beginning of the journey, a change seems unlucky, and I lost my self esteem at times. This displacement taught me the significance of self restoration. Thus, I left no stone unturned to overcome my fear and sorrow. And that was how I changed a lot. I realized how I dealt with my children was similar to how I dealt with myself. Ever since they were born, I thought I was doing them a favor by making them perfect. Today, I became aware that they, with all innocence and honesty, were pruning my imperfect weeds so I can connect with my true self. Here, I vow myself to stop abusing her. I vow to love her, protect her, appreciate her, encourage her, motivate her, listen to her, and communicate with her. Here, I vow myself to make amends with my inner child and wake up to the fact that life deserves love and forgiveness. I realized that I will not get back myself unless I forgave her. So, this is, I call it the butter of the book.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
And I guess
Yes,
it is, yeah, it resumes everything that we talked about and everything that we need to do while we have the shift in our lives.
exactly. To have a shift, as you said, one should look to himself in a mirror and talk to himself. Talk to yourself
Well,
and be truthful. You cannot lie on yourself. You have to forgive
yeah,
yourself for whatever guilt feeling you have. Maybe you are not forgiving yourself for something you did, but unintentionally. So it's very important for everybody to forgive himself,
yeah.
uh, to forgive himself before forgiving others.
Forgiving others, true.
Yeah,
Everything
exactly.
begins with ourselves.
Yes. Zena, it was really very nice. I thank you so much for your time. I thank the
May I
audience.
add just one word? I just
Yes,
want
please.
to add one word.
Please.
Um, uh, okay, I just want to say that there is a quote. Since we are dealing with a crisis right now and we have this pandemic and this quarantine and COVID-19 and whatsoever. So I want to say a word that is said by John Maxwell, the leadership, number one leadership in the world. He said, the crisis never leaves us the same.
Come
So
again. He said,
the
the
crisis
Christ.
never leaves us the same. Yeah, it squeezes us and it squeezes the best in us. So,
Yes,
since we are talking about life crisis, yes, life crises are hard, yes, and we can learn from them, and we can win from them, and we can succeed from them. So, let
yes.
us look at the positive side of the crisis.
That's very
And I
true.
want to thank you. I want to thank you. I was so happy, delighted to be on this platform on the Bridges of Light, and I'm so happy that I'm with you. And thank you for all the beautiful audience. I was reading all your comments and your beautiful comments, and thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for listening to us, for watching us.
I really thank you, Zena. You are a great woman. You are a very strong woman. As I said, you are the iron lady that I saw myself, and I had so many lessons from you.
Thank
Thank you so much, and I want to thank everybody who is listening to us right now. And God bless you all. Just to confirm that this pandemic that happened, this COVID-19 story, has made a change in us. Probably it was meant to change things in a negative way, but actually it changed things to the positive way, and that's why we were here. Without this quarantine and without this pandemic, maybe would no one would think to be live and share the ideas and help others. I
And
really thank.
getting to know this beautiful audience.
Yes, yes. Thank you, everybody. Zena, have a great day. Say hi to your kids. Kiss them for
Thank you,
me.
Leila and Radi. If you are watching me right now, I am sending you all my love.
Okay, same here. Okay, bye bye, everybody. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much,
God
everyone.
bless, God bless you all. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.